The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Hey everyone, it's me, Allison McClone, the Alikat. I'm here to do drawing and other such crazy stuff. And pet cats, because I got one right here. But I figured I got some interesting news for a possible gig to work on, which I was going to talk about a bit today, and basically see where things are going. And we will see what happens with everything. That being said, let me shift over so you can see the lovely arting side as opposed to my mug, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I did this a few years ago. It's Krasnia Vogue. She was designed initially for a Conan game. I believe she's not what Red Sonja is. She's basically a Russian. I want to say it's begins with an H. It's not Hyrcanian, I don't think, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Game didn't really go anywhere, but it was a lot of fun playing her, and I like swords and sorcery stuff, so I had fun designing it. It was a quick, basically, character sketch that I did, and I intended to basically, kind of hopefully see where she grew to. She's effectively a former gladiator that escaped. But hey, it was fun. So, she doesn't actually have red hair. That's just because I used a red pencil kind of for all my roughies for it. So, kind of was the setup on it and everything. Alright, so we got that there. So one of the other characters, this is actually one of the other players. I never actually got him this. I actually drew the entire group. This piece was actually a homage in some ways to Big John Buscema, because he's one of the definitive Conan artists as far as I'm concerned, with him and Barry Windsor Smith. And I have him choked up on the axe head a bit too much, but whatever. Technically it should be more up here, but I want to get kind of the face in, so I didn't care. And nobody's paying me, so I didn't care that much. But this is another character I may add to the comic, which I'll talk about soon. So the other day I started doing some roughs, basically doing some doodles, seeing where things are going, and kind of starting things up to see where things go. I did a quick little Krasnia sketch. Then I came up with this guy of Throngar the Undying. Was it Marabo the vulture, which Marabo is a type of bird, and it's not a vulture, but it sounded far cooler, and I kind of made him kind of bird-like with this hunch and everything, the way he kind of goes over, and he's like an evil wizard guy. Which magic and like swords and sorcery tends to have a cost. So then I started doing some other roughs last night. I did like another one of the vulture. I had like another thing of the Undying, just try to get some facial stuff done. Had like another quick sketch of Krasnia. And I have this thing called the Terror Titan, which is like a warrior giant that had destroyed everything. So it's like a quasi post-apocalyptic setting of what I'm thinking, but done in like a fantasy way. And then I have a quick sketch I did of Krasnia, just kind of trying to get a feel for her lines and stuff like that, and some shape designs and stuff. So that was something I did. Earlier today, that led me to, I have a puking cat. I'll be right back. I apologize, but puking cat takes precedence. Be right back. Let's just do some quick things here. Set up a banner real quick. just do something like this. Always when I'm trying to work, things happen. It's very annoying. Stupid cats. Gotta love them. And I can't spell. It is that hairball time of year. So I'll be right back. And I'm back. The cat barfing really wasn't that bad. Which was good. Oh, thank you very much, Art Victim. I appreciate that. You like the pose and everything. So yeah, so I got this working on right here, and I figure I should probably talk about what this is all for and everything. So one of my best friends, Curtis Ellett is his name, and he is a bit of a name in the swords and sorcery community. He runs a website called Sword and Sorcery Magazine. I think it's .net or .com. I'm not entirely sure, but I should probably know that. But you know, I'm a bad friend that way. But he is revamping his entire webpage, and it's like a Patreon thing. He was talking about. Well, I was talking about with him of doing a sword and sorcery webcomic for it. So that's what this would be. And it is a modification of an old idea I had using the character that I was talking about, Krasnia Volk, and her, basically, my broken shackles concept. So that's why she has like a shackles on her arms that are broken. But yeah, so I figured I would rough this out and then do some penciling, and we'll see where we go. Like really kind of put in the penciling and do some fun stuff. And she's kind of she's inspired a bit by Red Sonja. Don't quite have her in this page in the chainmail bikini, but you know, it is what it is. Probably don't need to start with the 2H on this. Yeah, we'll jump up to a darker lead. The fact I had to make a ticker for cat barf only me. But now I have it for the future. Now, her sword is effectively an executioner's blade. It's a type of sword that I really like. I was inspired by the books of the New Sun, where the lead character, who I can't think of his name right now, basically wields one. And I've always kind of liked the idea of it, that it has it has no tip. It's just flat. And it's a purely cutting weapon. And I always kind of use the thought that it's like much sharper than a standard sword because it's designed to go right through the head. Right through the neck, actually. Nice. Like she uses broken shackles as armor or weapons itself. Yeah, she can block with them and things like that. That is kind of a concept. The chain isn't really that long. It only goes a little bit, but yeah, that is kind of a thing that she can use the kind of as a parry, kind of Wonder Woman-esque with the bracer type thing. So yeah, that is definitely a concept for it. I learned how to draw sword wrappings from Eastman and Laird, so they're always kind of chaotic. And I've been consulting with my brother a bit on this as well, who is a Howardian scholar. So pretty much if I want to know anything about, when it comes to old pulps and sword and sorcery fiction, things like that, I don't know his equal. But yeah. Yeah, Howard especially, and he's got an incredible knowledge on Lovecraft as well, along with like Clark Ashton Smith and all the greats like that. So I've been kind of consulting with him on different ideas for it. And my friend Curtis is no slouch either, as he does do a magazine. Oh, my laptop's ready to update. I don't think I'll do it now. So once I kind of get the lines in here, I'm going to do some texturing and all that. I was trying to shift up my style a little bit. Like I usually have a pretty solid manga look to everything I do, but with this I want to kind of, I'm still always going to have a bit of a manga look, but thought I'd go a bit more, Big John and Barry Windsor Smith and one of my personal heroes of Bernie Wrightson. And I always have an element of McFarlane to some of the stuff I do too, so there's that. But yeah, my usual kind of Blade of the Immortal kind of looking stuff along with Berserk is probably taking a little bit of a back seat with this. It will still be there, but I intend to stretch out a little bit. Try new things. Oh. To think, I'm hearing motorcycles shooting around when earlier today it was like raining cats and dogs. I know. My chew almost got swept away in it and wanted to be. We're going to be raining on other people. I've already started a couple of pages as well for this, just to kind of see where things go with me. My first kind of installment was going to be basically about 8 to 12 pages is kind of my thought process for it, since it's going to be like an online Patreon exclusive thing. So which you guys will probably see me working on. And obviously, I'll collect them and then figure out a way of distributing it, either digitally or like digitally as a book, or like maybe I'll attempt a Kickstarter. You live a concept? No, yeah, the raining here is pretty hard as well. Oh, Lower Michigan. Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely get wet there too. I'm in New England. I'm just south of Boston. And yeah, we had like torrential rain. It was impressive. It was raining so hard that one of my windows was leaking. Um, which happens on occasion. I know how to correct it. I basically have to make sure the window is perfectly tight and then lock it. And that generally stops the problem. But yeah. Also, July might be interesting for me with streaming because I'm probably going to be moving. Because this place is just getting way too expensive to rent, and it's a studio apartment. It's downright fucking ridiculous. I would say pardon my French, but I'm pretty sure fuck isn't French. But hey. And, I don't know, it's just words. Yep, I'm happy you love the concept of it. I said I did a few pieces of it a while ago when she's more of like a redhead and maybe a little bit younger. She's still not like a terribly old character, but she's not like as young as my character Danny or anything like that, who's like a young teenager. Ugh. And I'm using some elements from my existing fantasy world for this, but I'm toning things down a bit when it comes to like high magic and stuff. Basically, magic is not something that's just like used casually. It's expensive and, everything has a price, as it were. It takes something. It might not always be good, depending on how you use it. That was some of the things I was discussing with my brother about it. Starting to think I maybe should have detailed out the hilt a little bit more, but not a big deal. With my rough, but hey, it is what it is. I think I might have to do some win it out, black it out in a few places. But this will effectively be like a test cover for the first chapter, which I've been loosely calling The Terror. Probably going to change the name because I want to reuse that for an actual idea that I had. Actually, my original Broken Shackles idea, where she's basically on a boat, and I'm taking influence from the infamous boat that went searching for the Northwest Passage, the Terror and the Erebus, the two boats. I think they made a TV series about it called The Terror. I never watched it, but look cool. Something on the paper. I had a cat run across it, so God only knows. I had it fairly high up too. I had it stacked up on top of something to work on. I turned around, I found a cat on top of it, and I was like, "Hey, they get everywhere." That was my phone. Oh, nothing important. I've dropped that phone so many times. I'm amazed I haven't cracked the screen on it at all. Okay, let's kind of get this going. Straightish line. Seems like cats are side characters to a lot of major quests. Yes, they are, especially in my life. One of them's eating. The one that I just cleaned up the barf on, he's eating now. Thankfully, he didn't barf that bad, because, yeah, he's the long-haired cat, and he definitely had a hairball. I lucked out a bit. And before anybody thinks that the shackles are like some kinky sex type thing or something, they're not. I have no problem with people who are into that stuff, but it's more of a representation of my MS. That's a way of me kind of dealing with my multiple sclerosis. So, the character has this detriment, as it were, that she's marked in a way that she can't take them off. They've been ensorcelled. Huh. Probably have to bring up some McFarlane Spawn to take a look at how he draws chains, though, because he's like the master. Him and Capullo. I'm going to be watching Fallout tonight with my brother. I think that'll be fun. I was kind of curious about the TV show. I've heard good things. Hopefully it'll be fun. And I actually do have a something for my pull list today, which I didn't have the past couple of weeks. So that should be fun too. And if anyone is going to be in the New England area, I'll be up at the smallest comic. Oh, is it the largest comic convention, like small time? It's like it's called like the Little Giant comic show or old school comic show. And I'll be up there this weekend. I'll be hanging out with a bunch of my friends. Be up there with Ian Chase Nichols. Travis Gibb will be up there. Along with like Jim Shooter and Mark Bagley will be there. It'll be a good show. And it is mainly just comics focused, so you won't like have wrestlers or anything like that at the place and other such things. So it'll have my favorite thing, dollar bins. Hopefully. Give me one sec. Need to wet my whistle a little bit. My glasses tried to escape. You get new ones. My prescription really hasn't changed much, but I lost like over 100 pounds, so I don't have as big of a face. Streamlined out. So, need new glasses. Gotta come up with some kind of a design for that. Rocket, what are you doing? Yep. My cat's up to no good. I can tell. He's breathing. Probably shouldn't do the detailing right now. I want to get my lines in. Can really pick my lines and go. Then I'll do it. I should have plenty of time. I mean, it's only... No, it's half hour already. Damn. Time flies when you're drawing stuff. Yeah, I'm using my drawing board here on the desk because I can turn it a little bit easier, so. It's kind of weird. I always used to have to draw at an angle, but ever since I was streaming, I generally don't because, well, I like having the laptop next to me. So, it's hard to use the desk when it's up at an angle. I'll say about to doing some of my commissions I'm a little behind on, but, things that, I had something I was going to say, I don't remember. But hey, it is what it is. It's my brain. Don't really like that. So. Ears have always been the hardest thing for me to draw. It's weird. A lot of people say hands and stuff. I don't really have an issue with hands. Used to when I was learning and stuff, but not really anymore. Not for a long time. Ears always give me a problem. So I make them very simple. You get it. 1,000% turn the page all the time. Yep, yeah, I gotta turn the page. I have a commission I can't work on stream at the moment. Kind of sucks. Yeah, no, I know that feeling. I have a Zatanna commission I've been working on for a bit, and I have a couple of D&D character stuff. A friend of mine needs me to do a logo for him for his gaming company. He makes 8-bit arcade games that would work on Atari. The old 2600 stuff. And I gotta design a logo for him. I am in the midst of designing a cover for his game too, which I did a lot of research on the cover art of the classic 8-bit era games. I made like a whole template for it, and I'm looking into the painting structure of everything to try to get it right. But it's like it's kind of like Asteroids meets Defender. It's the best way I could describe the game. I should do something nice for Andrew anyway. He just had gallbladder surgery, so that had to suck. Thought I was gonna have to have mine out at one point. Thankfully, I didn't have to. Oh, the sun's trying to peek out a little bit. It's the first time having an NDA style for me. That Atari style art should be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I have a few NDAs that I'm under for things that I can't really talk about that I've done. I've done some work on for some of the companies that probably will never see the light of day, but they paid me, so I don't care. I kind of care, but it is what it is. Fairly certain that one of the ideas is stuck in turnaround. Basically means it'll never get made. And that I'd love to show off because it involves me making an animatic. And that was fun to do. I had a friend of mine who hired me to do some flatting for him a few months ago, and I was thinking about streaming doing the flatting, and he was very much against it. So I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. Hopefully once Dave frees up a little bit, I can have him on stream again. Kind of looking forward to that. It'll be fun. The only problem is the softer leads. You go through them so quick. I apparently just got a bunch of Discord notifications. Thought I had those turned off when I was streaming. Yeah, well. Not a big deal. So I watched an interesting horror movie. I started yesterday. I actually finished it up today when I was doing some more roughies on this. Um, it was the original version of The Woman in Black, which most people probably remember the 2012 version that had Daniel Radcliffe in it, where Harry Potter basically goes and has to deal with a ghost. Um, it was a interesting movie. Nothing great, but it was fun. But I saw the original version of it that was made like back in 1989. I think it was a made-for-TV film. I could be wrong, but I think it was. It was definitely a British film, and considering it's a book written by a British author, it kind of makes sense. We'll say Susan Hill was her name. I can't remember. I might have the name wrong. I might not. But yeah. So I watched that, and it was interesting. It was very, very different from the Radcliffe version, and I enjoyed it overall. I mean, was it the best movie in the world? No. The original, the first, the yeah, so the Radcliffe version wasn't either, but I still thought it was kind of fun. Um, I like ghost stories, especially like classic gothic ghost stories. This one was like firmly set after World War One, so which I think was the setting of the Radcliffe one too. I don't know. There were cars. Yeah, the sequel to it that was done like in 2015 or something like that. I think it was Angel of Death, I think it was called, or something like that. Yeah, that really sucked. They were selling it on Amazon for like $2 at one point, and I was like, it's worth $2, right? And I watched it. Nope. But I have a copy of it. Maybe in the hospital when I watched that. I was looking for things to watch. Being in rehab for basically learning how to walk again kind of sucked. I still haven't quite figured it out. Yes, the relapse that basically made me find out that I had MS had set me in the hospital and taken a lot of my ability to walk. Luckily, I got a bunch of it back, but I still now have to use a cane. Sometimes a whirl later, kind of like a walker, but it has wheels, 4 wheels instead of 2. And I've also, if I'm doing any type of like distance stuff, I just get a wheelchair. I think this is my favorite part of doing. I love doing tight pencils. That's no good. Sorry for that. It is what it is. But thank you very much. I said it was 6 years ago now. Yeah, it was back in 2018. It was literally this month too. Uh, I was I was in the hospital on April 1st, 2018. I guess I was the fool. It was also Easter Sunday. I found out a couple of days later I had MS. Oh, you thought this was inks? Yep. Yeah, I like. I'm using a darker pencil. This is it's a harder. It's a actually it's softer lead. I want to say it's a oh, it's a like a B3 or something or a B4, I believe. So it's much darker, and I like penciling with a darker lead. So like my lead holder's a 2H. I do a lot of my rough sketches with it. Um, this is another soft lead. Again, it's like a B3, B4, something like that. And it's like a 3 millimeter, which I use this for fine details because it, I don't sketch with it a lot or don't work with it a lot because it breaks really easy. It's another 2H lead holder. I think this is a 2H that I use also. It's like my trusty mechanical I've had forever. I forget what lead's in this one. But yeah, got a bunch of pencils that I, here that all have the same lead in them that I don't really use them all. But I put them out because it makes me feel better. I look more like a professional artist. Do as well. Hard leads dent the page too much, and light hand makes it light. A nice light line. Yep, yeah, it does. And obviously, it's got like a blue line for a base. And sometimes I do it in red. Found the red hasn't really been looking the greatest, so the blue is a little bit easier. I've been told for people to kind of see. But like where is it? This Krasnia. You can see it on this. You can definitely see the reds in this from my original concept sketch. So. Granted, this is also like light boxed and everything. It's my initial sketches are really, really rough. And then I light box to find the base lines, and I like to go in and texture them from there. Add different weights. When I ink it, I'll probably use a brush. Probably a combination brush and quill. Might use some technical pens here and there. If I'm going to, it'll be like the sword blade. When I can control it a little bit better. I got 45 minutes. About another 15 minutes, I'll do my book of the week. So we'll show you the pull list, which I got a classic for today. Actually, I got two classics. One of them, I think one of my cats munched on a little bit, which annoyed me. Thankfully, they're technically reprints. What's annoying, though, is they're really cool reprints. I try not to let my cat get anywhere near my art and stuff. Well, the orange one, anyway. Because he's known to chew on things. Speaking of the devils, where are they? They're both in the bed. Okay. if I do move, hopefully it will be into some housing around here for disability stuff. But as a backup plan, I might move in with my old roommate. Problem is, it's like on the third floor of a building, and there's no elevator, so I won't be leaving the apartment much. Stairs and me don't get along. I mean, I'll definitely get down them, one way or the other. Okay, I think that's good. The other thing I want to do with this is an excuse to draw violence. So it always makes me feel better to draw violence. Ugh. Yeah, it's coming along pretty good, I think. Having fun. Alright, let's get kind of her eyebrows in. I want to do a bit thicker than that, so. Whenever I roughen eyebrows, it's usually just a quick curved line. When I do it on guys, I sometimes stick it right to the top of the eyelid. Women, I don't. I was over at my mother's yesterday for a bit, and we watched, I think it was a British Bake Off show, or whatever it is. Like I don't know, we were watching the 9th season of it or something. And I have to say, the show is hilarious. I've never really been one to watch cooking shows. I mean, I like cooking and stuff, and I like baking, but I'm just never really into watching it on TV. It always makes me hungry. So, but I have to say, this is very funny. Some show on Netflix. My mother's like, "Oh, you'll love this," and I'm like, "Okay." She's right. Found it very funny. Very light. Kind of needed it. All right. And the Lamisate symbol here is it's actually a slave mark to show that she's technically a slave. She ran away. And there are those who want her back. figure, Conan was a slave in the movies. There probably wasn't a couple of the stories too. I just don't remember. I've read all the Howard stories, but that was back in the early 2000s. So again, she's also got these like shackles on her and stuff and a metal collar. So needless to say, she stands out in a crowd. I'm also jealous of my best friend right now. She's driving. Oh, not jealous of what she's doing where she's driving, but she's driving down to Universal Studios. I'd like to go to Universal Studios, but I don't have the money. So, not for me. Also, I don't want to drive down there. This is way too freaking long. It's like a 24-hour drive. I mean, I get why they're driving, because flying is really expensive right now. I'm also planning a trip to Japan in 2026, so that's going to be taking my money for quite a while. I don't know if anybody's been watching X-Men 97, but damn, that last episode was dark. I don't get any spoilers on it or anything, but just wow, that was a dark episode. It's very, very good. I'm looking forward to the next one to see the fallout of it and how they deal with it. Got a few suspicions, but we'll see. You can go anywhere at this point, huh? Just to get out of the house. I can understand. Holy cow, X-Men 97. Yeah, exactly. X-Men 97 was just wow. That was just a wow episode. Ugh. I mean, it's very rare for a cartoon to get like a tear to come to my eye, but there's a scene with Magneto that just I was like, oh my god. It just it's like Grave of the Fireflies level crap. Oh, so good. That's like the cry fest that was like happening. And it broke the lid. Like I said it would. Like Goosebumps on the last one. Yeah, absolute stunner of an episode. Yeah, it so was. Such a good episode. It's like they are nailing the X-Men. Like even better than the original series did. And I love the original. Well, the last season sucked, but I think everybody agrees with that. Now we're drawing in the bra strap. Because, chainmail bikini. I might not have really gotten the curve across her back right, but whatever. Having to wear these things, they're never comfortable. I don't even want to think about how uncomfortable a chainmail one would be. Guess I could ask Wendy Penny. She was known for dressing up as Red Sonja at lots of comic book conventions when cosplay was. I don't even think it really had a name then. God, I can't remember his name. He was one of the main artists on the actual Red Sonja comics. Said that like she was the definitive Red Sonja as far as he was concerned. Very beautiful woman. And who doesn't like ElfQuest? But yeah, the Bad Batch episode was really good, and then there was that X-Men episode. It was just wow. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the Bad Batch, and I said X-Men's been great. I'm going to be so sad when both of them are over. At least we're getting at least 2 seasons of X-Men, so that'll be good. But this is the last season of the Bad Batch. That took time. Really sure up the lines on that armband. No big deal. What are we doing for time? Just about an hour in. If I get this done, then I'll do the pull list. Keep doing that. Alright, let's redo that lines. Erasers, how wonderful they are. The only thing about drawing digitally that I like a little bit better is the undo button. But then I don't have art to sell. And I like being able to sell art and, potentially making a little bit of money. Okay. I think we only have a season and a half of this writer, as I know he got fired, and we have another season after that scheduled. Yeah, from what I understood, it's been renewed for 2 more seasons. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read that it was 2 more seasons that it got renewed for. But yeah, the current writer's only a season and a half, which I don't know whatever the hell happened between those guys, but they really need to, I don't know, put on their big girl pants and get him back because the shows is so good. Okay, so while we're getting up for things, we're going to be going over to the poll list. So bear with me for a minute while I get things set up. That'd be great. I'm sitting here talking to myself. Nothing's going on. I hit the mute button still. Yep, because that's me. I'm creative like that. But anyways, this is Red Nails. We got Barry Windsor Smith doing this stuff. With some classic Conan's, the Treasury Edition stuff. Said it's giant comics, cool to look at, and Red Nails is arguably one of the greatest Conan stories written. I would say that if you really wanted to get into sword and sorcery stuff, I would honestly probably start with Tower of the Elephant if I was going to get into Conan, but Red Nails is just incredible. So, but yeah, so we got the wonderful Barry Windsor Smith, we got Conan, we got Valeria, which was the female character in the movie, even though she's never named in the first film. But yeah. And then we have Lurker from the Catacombs. Oh, that's a different chapter, I think, of Red Nails. But yeah, because Valeria is dressed the same and still partially naked. Okay. So yeah, figured show off these. He comes from the dark. Just so cool. Yep, yeah, that was all Red Nails, because that was then to the memory of Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan, Cull, and An Age of Undreamed Of. Yeah. Along with this amazing piece in the back by Barry Windsor Smith. All right, and then I got one other thing to show off here, which this is the one my cat chewed on. A little annoyed at the bastard, but hey. And this one has Red Sonja, She-Devil with the Sword. I don't know if this is reprints her first appearance or not, but we'll find out. Song of Red Sonja. That might be the first Red Sonja. Issue I had. Oh yeah, I love Conan. Didn't have a lot, but the issues I have are gritty. Love him. Yeah. No, Conan's great. I have most of the run of it. I found this kind of funny because they have it written here as Sonia, and it's spelled differently. Now, one of the cool things, if you know anything about Howard, is that he had a character who was known as Red Sonja, but she wasn't a female Hyperborean. I think, was she a Hyperborean? Harcanian? I can't remember. But anyway, she wasn't in this. She was a character from his historicals, and she was the story was set in Turkey, of all places. But this cover is was it John Buscema with Ernie Chan, I believe, did this? Yeah, Ernie Chan. Thomas, again, based on Howard stuff. This might be the first appearance of Red Sonja. I can't remember. I'd have to look. But she does deck him. But yeah, that's super fun stuff. And she wasn't wearing the chainmail bikini. She had like a chain shirt and Speedo bottoms. It was like a Japanese girl's gym uniform for bottoms. Night of the Dark God. Gil Kane with the artwork. Utterly amazing. Really adapted from the story of The Dark Man by Robert E. Howard. Gil Kane. So yeah, these treasure editions are just beautiful. I mean, the art in them is great. They're super fun. Absolutely love everything about them. Now, we got mostly naked Red Sonja up there. Not really sure if that is Red Sonja, but we'll kind of go with it for right now. Could have been some evil sorceress with red hair. The Vixen. Black Colossus. That's Red Sonja. Frank Thorne. I believe that is the main artist of who did the Red Sonja book. And yeah, okay, so she was Harcanian. All right. And then we have the Black Colossus, which this is John Buscema, is the penciler with Alfredo Alcala. And Seb's the colorist. Again, written by Roy Thomas. And again, it's another adaptation from Howard. But yeah, very, very cool. available on that. But yeah, so Red Sonja, the historical character that he had made was spelled Sonya. And when Thomas created Red Sonja for the comics, he changed it to a J. God, this thing just smells old. I mean, the yellowing of the pages, classic newsprint, gotta love it. I love Buscema's art. Yeah, these are a lot of fun. A lot of fun. When I'm up at the show tomorrow, I'm hoping I'm gonna be looking for another one, maybe one or two, as long as they're not like crazy expensive. Oh, there's the Hyborian map. Very cool. Yeah, that's Hircania, so that's where she's from. Yeah, the desert's Hyperborea. I think my character's Hyperborean. And that's what Krasnia was in the game I played. But yeah, super fun stuff. We have like a nightmare camel. Well, that's kind of scary. But yeah. But hey, that kind of gives us an idea of things and some great stories, some great fun. Highly recommend them. But hey, back to drawing for a bit. I don't have to change anything either. It's perfect. This time I won't mute myself. The breast kind of connects up there, but not really. Not really what I want to show. So I just want to draw the whole thing in. I have to also say, one of the things I like about working traditionally a little bit better is I think I can get better line weight traditionally than I can when I do digital. I mean, I understand you supply more pressure, but this is something about it. I just prefer doing it digitally. I mean, prefer doing it traditionally. I broke my pencil again. That's something I don't generally do when I work digitally. Oh. Okay. And when I go in with the brush, I have a lot more fun with it. So Like going back and forth as well, pencil and ink on paper, just feels good. It's still digital after that. If the job calls for, yeah, I know. I definitely get that impression. I mean, if I really want to go faster, I work digitally. I'm definitely faster when I'm digital, but figure I don't really have a day job, so it's just drawing comics and things. So I might as well just take my time and do things the way I want to. And it's not like when I do the webcomic for the Patreon thing that's going to be 30 pages a month. It'll probably be more like um, 7 to 12, be my thought, or 8 to 12. I want to make it so I can book it if I need to, put into a book easy. So multiples of 4. I mean, when I do my paneling and all that, I actually do a lot of that stuff digitally, and then I print it out so I don't have to measure everything with rulers and stuff because it can be a pain in the ass. So I always screw up when I'm inking the borders. So this way, I don't have to worry about it. And I design my logos and everything, obviously digitally and stuff. But I will do some lettering by hand, like sound effect stuff and things. I like doing by hand. Dialogue, no. Too damn tedious, especially when I can just copy and paste it from the script. And I actually like lettering. If I was lettering somebody else's book, I'd probably do it all digitally because I don't want to print the damn thing out. Um, but I like lettering. It's actually kind of relaxing. I'm probably one of the few people who thinks that. I mean, I'm no Nate Picos, but I like to think I'm okay at it. Definitely no bad lettering can ruin a book. So, taking a lot of time to get the basics down at least. screwed up my for a second there. Usually I like to do the make sure I don't have to put my hand over the line I just drew, but I realized I forgot to do the upper part of the arm. No big deal. I hit an imperfection in the page and bounce the line a little bit. Not a big deal. Okay, I got a few minutes left. See if I can get my finished first round of pencils in before I start doing my texture stuff for it and things, which I'll probably end up doing off stream, but you know. And next week we'll see where we're at with this. I'm apparently getting a lot of Instagram likes. Granted, I posted the preliminary of this, the blue lines, earlier, so it's probably in relation to that. That up a little bit so you guys can see the bottom where I'm working. Maybe me. I found my work on social media and followed. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate that. I'll generally give follows back when people follow me, so that always works. Kind of getting the little bit of the modesty flap, we'll call it, down at the bottom. Oh, watched another movie last night that was pretty good. I haven't watched it in years, but I found it on it was on some channel, and it's the Colossus, the Forbin Project. Very, very good movie. Kind of like the fear of AI taking over before Terminator. It came out like in 1970. Very, very good film about a supercomputer and things that tries to take over the world. It was a book series here. I think the book was just called The Colossus, but I don't remember fully. Again, it's been a long time. But fairly hard science fiction. The artificial intelligence level of the AI is the big leap for it, but can definitely be a little frightening. Okay. Well, I think this is was it? I just heard of that movie. I've been researching anything cyber. Yeah, it's very good. It's a very, very good film. I highly recommend it. It's a fun movie. I don't know if it's fun, but it's a entertaining film. Very dark. Very bleak. And it just goes to show you that if you build a supercomputer that can potentially run all of your defense systems and you think it's going to get really smart, make sure you put the plug nearby to pull it out when the thing goes to try to take over. You just rip the plug out of the socket and be like, haha, fuck you. But yeah. And then don't turn it back on. Don't plug it back in. Or if you do, make sure it's not connected to the network. So yeah, definitely have a cutoff area, even if it involves a chainsaw. I believe it's a whole series. I don't know if they made a series of movies or not. I've only seen Colossus. I haven't actually looked into it too much. I believe it's like a trilogy of books, but yeah, I haven't seen them. Okay, well, guys, so that's me getting my first round of pencils done before I go in and start really texturing and shading and everything. I'm gonna call it here. It's 4:30. I've been going about an hour and a half. Fortunately, I only have so much energy, but I'd love to thank you all for coming by, watching, hanging out with me as I draw. An art victim, it was great chatting with you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And again, I'll be at the old school comic show by Little Giant Comics up in New Hampshire tomorrow from like 9 to 5 or something. Which means I gotta leave here at like 7 in the morning. That's gonna suck. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. So I will just gonna leave you with some fancy words, and you guys have a great one. Bye, everybody.